Good morning, Miss Laura here for Virtual Storytime. I do want to do one thing before we start. Last week was the first week of our summer reading program, and I forgot something. So for ages 0 to 5 that are enrolled in the Beanstack summer reading program, each story time I give you a secret code to put into your Beanstack account to earn prize tickets for watching Virtual Storytime. Last week's secret code was SHELLS, SHELLS, all capital letters, and I extended week one's time where you have to the end of this week to enter SHELLS into the week one Storytime badge. Now, after Storytime today, I will give you this week's secret code. Sound like a deal? All right, here we go. Hello friends, how are you? Hello friends, how are you? Hello friends, how are you? How are you today? I'm doing really well today. Hope you are too. We're going to start with a book about a bubble. What is your favorite thing about bubbles? Is it blowing them? Watching them float around? Is it popping them? That's what this is about. This book, written by Jason Carter Eaton, illustrated by Matt Rockefeller. Every last bubble must pop. It was a beautiful day, and Dewey was all alone blowing bubbles. You don't need a friend to blow bubbles. Dewey says, the best part of blowing bubbles is popping them. But no sooner had he said that he just missed popping the very last one. It caught a slight breeze, and he stood up so he could see where it was going. It was going up. So Dewey jumped up and down to try to reach it, but in almost no time at all, it was out of reach again. He would need to jump higher. The backyard trampoline would do the trick. Almost. This was one elusive bubble. There's a word, elusive. Elusive means hard to catch or hard to get. Thinking quickly, he climbed up on top of his jungle gym. Then did he catch the bubble? On the jungle gym, he watched as the bubble sailed right over him. This was going to be harder than he thought. Dewey quickly fetched a ladder and raced to the roof of his house, but the bubble was way, way past that already. He grabbed his telescope, and this is what he saw. There was a really tall building in town. Dewey hopped on his bike and rode like the wind. When he reached the building, he dove into the elevator and pressed the button, emerging moments later on the very top floor. Just moments after the bubble, he would need to get higher still. Just then a man with a hot air balloon passed by. Dewey quickly explained the situation, and of course the man wasted no time giving Dewey his balloon. After thanking him, Dewey was off. He quickly gained on the bubble, but there must have been a crosswind because soon they were on opposite ends of the sky. Closer, thought Dewey, I have to get closer. Well, that helicopter flying past would do nicely. And after some explaining and thanking, it was all his. The problem with helicopters, however, is that they can only go so high, and this bubble was showing no signs of slowing down. He definitely needs something with more oomph. Like that biplane, which took some serious explaining and thanking, but it was totally worth it. Up, up, up went the bubble, with Dewey and his biplane quickly closing the gap, though not quick enough for his taste. His taste was more suited to that F-16 fighter jet on the horizon. Of course, it took a ton of explaining and thanking, but in the end, Dewey knew it would pay off. The F-16 was a gorgeous aircraft, and zooming through the clouds was tremendously fun. But this wasn't about fun. This was about popping that bubble. Dewey pushed down hard on the throttle and boom! Soared upward toward the bubble. He knew F-16s could only go up to 50,000 feet, so he'd need to catch it before then. It was close. But not close enough. He'd never be able to catch it now. Now what? Is this the end? Nope. He'd never be able to catch it unless it just happened to be the day of the moon launch, which it did. Though as Dewey did his explaining and thanking, he knew this was probably his last chance to catch that bubble. But none of that mattered now. He was the fastest, most powerful rocket in the world. There was no stopping him. Except for the fact that the rocket stopped on the moon. My goodness. He jumped out of the rocket, reached for the bubble. Oh. Dewey returned home. He was sad that after all that effort, he'd never popped the bubble. That night, just before bed, he pulled out his telescope to see if he could spot his bubble. But something was blocking his view. A bubble. But not his. So he popped it. Now Dewey could see where that bubble had come from and where the bubble had gone. And he knew he'd found a friend. That is interesting. Well, let's sing about our turtle in the bathtub, because it's got the part with the bubble pop. Ready? I had a little turtle, his name was Tiny Tim. I put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. He drank up all the water, he ate up all the soap, and now he's sick in bed with bubbles in his throat. Bubble, 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 pop! All right, here is a very silly book by Kes Gray and Jim Field called Frog on a Log. It has a question mark after the title, so it's asking a question. Frog on a log? Hey, frog, sit on a log, said the cat. But I don't want to sit on a log, said the frog. Logs are hard and uncomfortable, and they can give you splinters. Ouch! I don't care, said the cat. You're a frog, so you must sit on a log. Can I sit on a mat? Asked the frog. Only cats sit on mats, said the cat. What about a chair, said the frog. I wouldn't mind sitting on a chair. Hares sit in chairs, said the cat. Perhaps I could sit on a stool, said the frog. Mules sit on stools, said the cat. What about a sofa, said the frog. I could stretch right out on a sofa. Gophers sit on sofas, said the cat. It's very simple, really. Cats sit on mats, hares sit on chairs, mules sit on stools, gophers sit on sofas, and frogs sit on logs. What do lions sit on, asked the frog. Lions sit on irons, said the cat. Ouch, said the frog. What do parrots sit on? Parrots sit on carrots. Lions sit on irons, and parrots sit on carrots. That doesn't sound very comfortable, said the frog. It's not about being comfortable, said the cat. It's about doing the right thing. What do foxes sit on? What do you think foxes sit on? Foxes sit on boxes. Foxes sit on boxes, and fleas sit on peas, said the cat. What do goats sit on, asked the frog. Goats sit on coats, said the cat. Goats sit on coats, cows sit on plows, and storks sit on forks. What do gorillas sit on, asked the frog. Gorillas sit on pillars, said the cat. Gorillas sit on pillars, rats sit on hats, weasels sit on easels, and moles sit on poles. What do seals sit on, asked the frog. Don't you know anything, said the cat. Seals sit on wheels. Doves sit on gloves. Newts sit on flutes. Lizards sit on wizards. And apes sit on grapes. What about puffins, asked Frog. Well, puffins sit on muffins, said the cat. Snakes sit on cakes, owls sit on towels, gibbons sit on ribbons, lambs sit on jams, and bees sit on keys. Well, I never knew that, said the frog. Well, you do now, said the cat. What do dogs sit on, asked the frog. I was hoping you weren't going to ask that, said the cat. What do dogs sit on? Help, says Frog. That's pretty funny. The end. I'm a librarian, so I guess I'm sitting on a, what do I call this chair? Blurvarian. All right, our last book is called The Lost Book by Margarita Cernate. All rabbits love books except for Henry until he discovers the lost book. There's Henry's backpack. Henry lived in Rabbit Town with his mom and dad, big sister Kate, and little sister Amy. In Rabbit Town, books were everywhere. Rabbit adventures, rabbit history, rabbit food, and all rabbits loved books, except for Henry. What's so special about all these books, he wondered. Games and real adventures are much more fun. But then Henry found the lost book. It was not a rabbit book. How did this get here? Asked Henry. Did someone lose it? Are they looking for it? But most of all, curious Henry wanted to know where it had come from. He set off to find the owner of the lost book, but the creatures he met didn't seem to care. And they did not notice Henry, who was beginning to feel a little lost himself. Just as he was about to lose hope, Henry started to read the lost book, and something amazing happened. Almost. "Excuse me," said the little creature. "I think you lost this." He left his backpack behind, didn't he? It turned out there was one nice thing about getting lost: being found. You hear the siren outside? Henry spent the afternoon with his new friend. She showed him around the city, and he found out about all of her favorite things. He enjoyed himself so much, he forgot all about the lost book. "Oh, my mom is here. I have to go," said the little creature. Henry had a gift for his new friend so she wouldn't forget him. She had been so good for finding Henry and taking care of him. He knew the lost book would be in good hands. "Mom, Dad, look! It's a book." "You won't believe who I met today. He's sitting right..." "Wait, where did he go?" "Henry, where have you been?" asked his dad. Henry just hugged everybody very tightly. That night, for the first time, it was Henry who told the bedtime story. An adventure so exciting, it could have been in a book. The end. All right, it is time for week 2 Storytime code. This is what you'll enter into week 2 Storytime Bean Stack. The secret code: SAND. SAND. All capital letters. SAND. There you go. See you next time. Thanks.